the soul of America.
Not just to build back, but to build back better. Vaccines are safe. There's nothing political about them.
I was not going to extend this forever war. Putin chose this war. Israel has the right to defend itself and its people. Full stop. The best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
Welcome back. Look, it is going to be really just days from now that Joe Biden will no longer be president. How will his time in office be remembered? I think there's probably a shorter term question and then a longer term question. Sure.
And now I honestly don't believe Dana Bash understood how this question was going to go. So she asked it. I'm actually grateful that she asked this question and she didn't interrupt. She did not interrupt. I'm thankful for Dana Bash for that. But, they got to pick up, they got to, get them views up as much as possible. So she knows Scott Jennings is on the show and she know that he's going to correct some things. Let's go and get into it. So Dana Bash asked a good question. I'm not going to interrupt it anymore. We're going to go ahead and get into it. How will Joe Biden be remembered? You answer that question too in the comments, please. How will Joe Biden be remembered in his 4 years as president of the United States?
I agree with that. Look, I think in the longer term, we will remember that this is a president and vice president who helped us come back from the brink during COVID, when people were dying by the hundreds of thousands on a daily basis. And we were in our homes and companies and small businesses were falling off a cliff. And he helped to get vaccines, get us out of our homes, get us back to work and invested in this country. I think one of the things that you'll see him doing with the time that he has left is more around investments in the CHIPS and Science Act. I think that's actually going to be transformational in communities around the country. I think Donald Trump will take credit for it, but Joe Biden's record with regard to the things that he's accomplished, I think will stand the test of time. Now, what my dear friend Scott and others will talk about, and quite frankly, I'm going to say this on it, rightfully so. It was very disturbing to learn late in the year about just how poor his health has become. And like many, I did not realize that it had gotten to that point. That being said, I think he showed up for the job. He got the work done. I think some of the accomplishments also in the Middle East and foreign policy will also stand the test of time.
Scott Jennings is next. I ain't even got to listen. I ain't even got to rebut half of what she. I told you you're not going to believe this mess. She said the only thing that she did not like about Joe Biden's administration is that his health declined and she didn't know about it. His health declined and she didn't know about it. But that's it. Everything else about his administration, him and Kamala, was perfect. They did everything for us. Wow. Could you imagine what type of parent she is? Look at this face that she's stuck on. It's like, that's my answer and I'm sticking to it. What else do you want from me? All we want from you, we don't want negativity. We just want the truth from you. Can we get that? That's all we want. It's the truth. Can we get the truth? That's it. Why is it so freaking difficult? He's not running for office again. Kamala has already lost. Feel free to be honest. That's it. Just feel free to be honest. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. Scott Jennings is about to get on her.
You think the Middle East is in better shape today than when he took office?
Well, I think he got our hostages home. I think that's a big deal. I think it's important.
I'm sorry, which hostages?
He's gotten a number of people home. He was able.
There's still 100 people over there.
Well, there were more than that.
Including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave.
He said, well, he got all the hostages home. He got all the hostages home. Just like Kamala Harris says, we don't have any soldiers out there fighting wars right now. Joe Biden has stopped all. There's no one who's active out there right now. Y'all seen that video? Kamala Harris made that statement, and then some guys pulled up. Some guys, some of our men, some of our soldiers was watching it and recording themselves at the same time and said, then who the F are we? Where are we right now? These guys are camped out in other countries right now, Come on now. Come on, guys. We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach. All right, let me be quiet. Scott Jennings, let me go ahead and bring this back. Scott Jennings is about to cook. Let me be quiet while Scott Jennings cooks.
He's gotten a number of people home. He was
You know,
able.
there's still 100 people over there,
Well, there were more than
including some Americans. Look, I think he's gonna leave office in disgrace. The Hunter Biden pardon was disgraceful. He's going to be remembered largely for inflation and for the disastrous Afghanistan pullout. And I think as we continue to, we're just getting the first draft of this now, but as we continue to learn about the massive cover-up that went on, not about his health, but about his mental acuity, to cover that up, the efforts on that were undertaken by the White House staff, by his family, not in the last couple of months, but for all 4 years, I think it's going to be a really ugly chapter. It's a diminished presidency because of it. And I think we still don't know the full extent of what they did to try to hide what they've been doing over in the West Wing.
So I think leaving in disgrace is when you have an insurrection.
Okay. Bakari Sellers is about to do what the Democrats do, right? Okay. The older we get, let's try to do this. Let's just try to do this. I might not be the best communicator, but something that I do on a daily basis, I try to be better. If we're going to have a conversation, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to understand what you have to say. More than anything, too, I'm not just talking for my health. I would appreciate if you're listening to me so that you can hear what I have to say and so that you can understand what I have to say. Unfortunately, that's not what Bakari Sellers did when Scott Jennings answered in the way that he answered. Bakari Sellers was ready to just jump on him. Oh, so you think that's disgrace? How about this? How about this? You want to talk about disgrace? How about Trump with J6? How about that? How about him being impeached? How about that? Huh? You want to talk about something, huh? Y'all not doing the dozens. Y'all not joning on each other. Y'all ain't talking about each other's mothers. Like, this is not your opportunity to start exchanging blows, bro. A question was asked, and the first person that answered, the Democrat, was not fully honest. She left a bunch of things out. Scott Jennings called her on her sugar honey iced tea, and then went down the line of F-ups that Joe Biden made. But instead of acknowledging any of that, what he decided to do, a disgrace for me would be, that's a disgrace for you? I'm going to answer more after I let him talk. I'm going to let him cook because Bakari Sellers is about to cook too. I did this for Scott Jennings. I did not cut him off. I'm going to let Bakari Sellers cook. I will not cut him off. Y'all let me know what y'all agree with and what y'all disagree with in the comments below. Let's get to it.
We're in the West Wing.
So I think leaving in disgrace is when you have an insurrection at the Capitol. Like, that's leaving in disgrace. Being impeached twice is leaving in disgrace. So that's a difference. I think Joe Biden's going to be remembered in the short term for what you were talking about, whether or not he had the capacity to lead, who knew what when. I mean, there are many people outside of the very small network of Anita Dunn and Valerie Biden Owens and Jill Biden and Hunter. There aren't many people who knew the concerns that were there or whether or not he was up or fit for the job. And so those questions will be asked. Over the long term, this is somebody a lot like Mitch McConnell. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything they stood for. You don't have to agree with every vote. But you always knew they put the American people first. You always knew that. We had different paths of getting there, but that's what they believed in. They believed in this country. They believed in these institutions, and they did their best to strengthen them from different perspectives and different perches. Tangibly, Inflation Reduction Act, CHIPS Act, putting Ketanji Brown Jackson on the Supreme Court. I mean, these are things, you have prescription prices that are capped, things that Donald Trump's going to take credit for emerging from COVID. Tangibly, from a political perspective, bipartisanship, that's what Joe Biden means.
I think in the
Now, before we move on to the last person who is a conservative, who's going to give her points. She's going to acknowledge some of the points that Bakari Sellers said. She's going to acknowledge some of the points that Scott Jennings said, but she's also going to make her own. All right. But one thing I wanted to touch on was Bakari Sellers and the Democrat lady are both pointing out some great things that Joe Biden have done. But to say that he put America first makes you guys into liars. To say, let me repeat this, to say that President Joe Biden put America first turns you guys into liars, period. Nothing about his presidency put Americans first. Not only did he put America's second, third, fourth, and fifth, he put us last behind Ukraine. He put us behind illegal immigrants. I mean, there was a bunch of Americans who y'all claim that homelessness went down. It actually is going up like crazy. But we have American citizens who are living on the streets, and you guys passed them over to put illegal immigrants in there, into homes, into shelters. You padded their pockets with almost $2,000 per month per family. You gave them goodie bags with all their toiletries, everything that they could possibly need. You made this place look like fantasy world. You actually, if they believe in the Bible at all, they would think that America is the land of milk and honey, how Joe Biden treated these illegal immigrants. If you are honest, you will agree with that. So please don't say that he put America first, because he did not. We had hurricanes that completely destroyed cities. And these people, after losing their homes and after losing their vehicles, after losing their dogs, they didn't even know where Fido was. They out there getting swept away by a damn hurricane, and they don't know where their dog is. Kids ain't know where their mothers was. But yet, how did you all fix it? You all fixed it by saying, all we need for you all to do is get online. How the hell y'all gonna get online with no computers, no electricity or nothing? But let's just stop. Get online and apply for $750, and we'll take care of you. Please, how in the hell does that say that you're putting America first? Huh? So it's and I don't get it. And then everything you said about his convictions and him being impeached twice and all this other stuff, you do realize that the government was going after Trump very early. And the people knew it. The people saw it. And that's why the people voted him back into office this year. You understand? That's how that works. A man that leaves disgracefully does not get voted back into office. That's just how that works. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. I love you like a play cousin, Bakari. You've made a great name for yourself in law, in politics, and all this other stuff. But brother, come on now, be honest. Be honest, man. That's it. Just be honest. Okay, let's move to the last one, because I told you they cooking, man. Y'all would not believe some of the things they say. Please let me know what you agree with in the comments and what you disagree with in the comments. Don't forget to like this, man. We cooking today.
Bipartisanship. That's what Joe Biden means.
I think in the short term, he will be remembered in part by the sense of buyer's remorse that a lot of voters, I think, felt, that there was hope when he had come into office in the wake of January 6th and what have you, to say, I want to be a president who's going to be unifying, and I'm going to be a president who's going to set up the next generation of Democratic leadership. And I think a lot of voters feel like they did not come away from these 4 years with a world that feels more stable, an economy that feels better. And so in the short term, it's that buyer's remorse that they didn't get the Biden presidency they were perhaps hoping for. And that's why we have Donald Trump coming back, which leads into this longer term legacy of he could have been someone that could have said, I am representing this past era of leadership. I'm going to do it my way, and then I'm going to hand over the reins. The fact that he gave that speech saying it's time to hand over the reins in January of 2024 and not pretty early on in his presidency, especially with what we know now about how long he's been experiencing these challenges, I think that's the long-term challenge of the legacy he'll face.
All right. Before we go, quick.
Now, I wanted to say this. I just wanted to say this one thing. Okay, so they keep saying that people were not receiving what they thought they were going to get from Joe Biden. I'm sorry. If you, that's what they get, first of all. That's what you get for not doing your due diligence. If you know who Joe Biden is, okay, I'm guilty too. I'm telling y'all, I voted blue no matter who, just in case this is your very first time checking out LFR Family. Coach Van voted blue every single time, even if I didn't agree with him. On Obama's second term, that's when I changed to Republican by paper. Like next time I renewed my driver's license and they asked me which party affiliation am I with, I changed it from Democrat to Republican. I started to do more research. I started to look into conservative values more objectively. I started to look into it and have conversations with people on that side in order to hear them and understand them, just to see if I've been wrong all this time, just to see if they'll give me some information or send me in a direction where I can do my own research and get some great information so I can make a good decision next time. But I was still I was a stubborn Democrat, in a major blue city. I'm talking about 95, 92% of us vote Democrat here. All right. So this is embedded. This is my whole family, all of my coworkers, all of my friends, everybody voting blue, no matter if we disagree with them or not. We believe that this is the only party that's for black people because Al Sharpton is here. Huh? That's we look at all the leaders. Al Sharpton is here. Jesse Jackson is here. Like, we looking at all those things. Barack Obama, black president, black wife. I know what y'all gonna say. I know. Listen, I ain't start this in order to get no argument about Barack Obama. All right, but I finally voted Republican. I voted for Trump for my very first time. Voted red the very first time this year, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. Not really proud of the relationships that I currently have with some of my relatives and some of my friends, but it is what it is. All right. Waking up, sometimes you're going to leave some people sleep.